Good morning, everyone, and thank you very, very much for inviting me here. And it's a hard act to follow Abhishek, sharing his lived experience. I'm Morna Simpkins. I'm Scotland Director for the MS Society, and I also lead our co-production and involvement work across the UK. Lovely to be here today, and of course in Edinburgh we have a well-known centre for MS research that of course collaborates with many of my other colleagues who I see today, including Parkinson's and obviously Alzheimer's, so lovely to be here. The outcome of any research, and I am probably, like Henry said, preaching to the converted here, the outcome of research is absolutely that hope for everyone who is affected by MS. Scotland has the highest prevalence of MS. There's 15,000 people, or over 15,000 people affected, and as you may know, we support people with MS until ultimately we can find a cure. And it's not only about the drugs, the treatments, and we're very lucky that we have something like 16 disease-modifying therapies in Scotland, and had a good win this week where Sativex was approved for use with MS. It's also about the symptom management and that improved diagnosis. And you may have read we are just on the cusp of a way to announce our test sites for our first-of-a-kind multi-arm, multi-stage rolling adaptive clinical trial, which we have aptly named Octopus. So co-production and involvement. Co-production is a funny word. People either like it or hate it or whatever, but for me it's about involvement, and that's that thread that is running all the way through our organisation. I'm going to touch a little bit on what we do, but trying to focus particularly on our research. So we are here, and the three pillars of our work, very similar to our speakers earlier, the three pillars of our work are hope, help and voice. Hope being the research that we do. We're the biggest UK research funder into MS, and that is the hope for everyone in the MS community. We're also here very much to help the MS community and everyone affected by MS, and I'm not going to go through this, but just some information about the support we have. And the voice is the third pillar, which is completely an important part of our work, to campaign for a fairer welfare system, to campaign for care and treatment to be available where people need it, no matter where they live in the UK and obviously in Scotland. And we are absolutely here to support everyone affected by MS at every stage of their journey. This is what we use within our own organisation, and you've probably seen it elsewhere. Ladder of co-production, it's used by Nesta, another organisation, and it is the model that we base all of our work upon. Whilst co-production and co-design are our absolute gold standard, we fully recognise that throughout our work and throughout that involvement right across the organisation, we cannot always get to that level. But I think it's just important to set expectations when you start something, whether that's a service or research or a campaign. I've been with the organisation since 2015, and we've made huge steps forwards. Co-production for me is central to all my life and my work in the charity sector, and as Abhishek shared, that lived experience is so important. So we went from really not doing much in terms of involvement or co-production in the organisation, and we're probably trying to retrofit some of our work back. So we started on a journey and looked at what we were doing, didn't have any diversity in the voices of those affected by MS, and we actually as an organisation started to invest in the process, and we have now dedicated resources around co-production and involvement, and also in public involvement with our research network, which I'll talk about in a moment. So as we've got to sort of 2022, our reach has increased immensely. We have lived experience and co-production at all parts of the MS Society, And it's embedded into our induction for staff, it's embedded into our core competencies, and the training on co-production and involvement is a mandatory component for all staff who start with us and all staff who are with us. And whilst it's not been about the reach or the money or anything else, it has been quite significant in the traction we've been able to gain because we've got that involvement right at the heart of the organisation. So obviously we're all here to talk about research, and our research network is a hugely important part of our work. Our research is absolutely defined by the MS community, and as my colleague said, they're absolutely in the driving seat. And this just gives you some examples of where people can be involved within our research network in different projects and different aspects of the research process. We have a group of people, approximately 350 people affected by MS, so that can be carers, family, friends, professionals who help shape our research programme. There's opportunity to review all our research applications, they're all put through our panel, to meet researchers, to talk about work or collaboration, to take part in research or research panels, or indeed steering groups or focus groups like we've had for our trial Octopus. And a fundamental part of that work for the research network is actually helping us to improve the way that we communicate our research out to the MS community. So they review presentations, leaflets, anything that we need. We also have a research network steering group with 6 members from that wider network who monitor and support the operation of the research network and actually give us advice on the strategic direction and development of that research, and they report straight into our Board of Trustees. Another important aspect of our work is we have an Experts in MS professional network. It's a network for anyone who works with people affected by MS to discover, share, support and innovate together. All the information and the publications and the newsletter are all developed with and by professionals, so we have the best of knowledge there to support everyone who's working in that community. You can sign up via our website and you'll be included on all the lists and medical and research updates. So I just want to conclude saying, why does co-production and involvement of that lived experience mean so much to us? Well, from my point of view, there is only a resounding yes. Why would you not? It's not about the funding. It's not about the funding. It's about the services, the campaigns, and the research, and all of our work being designed and shaped by people affected by MS, because together we believe that we can stop MS. Thank you.